check out what's going on with CLG in the future. I mean, that's really exciting. Loco Doco, I think, has the potential to really help that team a lot. But here we go, right? For this game, we've got Blaze versus CJ Entus. And I'm curious, is it actually Gold Tech, their new top lane, playing in this game? I guess we don't know because they're Korean characters. I'm guessing it is.
This was last week.
Last week, so then yes, it would be.
Yeah.
So this is their new top laner, and this is interesting because Reaper, he was off the team, Orianna juking around, jiving, getting hit a little bit.
Trick or treat, I want some Skittles.
But this team in particular, Blaze, they've had some issues recently. Reaper, he was kicked off the team. They have Gold Tech joining them as their new sub, but he's actually not going to be at Dallas this weekend, which is something that was kind of surprising me. So he's not their new player Gold Tech isn't playing with them for MLG Dallas. They're using Shy from Azubu Frost in their top lane, and that's unusual. You have to wonder, how they feel about their new top lane if they're already subbing him out. Or I mean, I understand if he has some scheduling issues, or they feel he hasn't fully grown in with the team yet.
I would imagine it's probably something like a visa issue because
that's true too. That's actually a great point.
He joined the team so late, and if you've ever been to like international tournaments or tried to organize them, there's a lot of paperwork that needs to go in.
That's a great point. That is a hell of a point because I hadn't even considered that. That's actually very likely.
And Azubu Frost is like, well, I wonder if they actually appeared in America recently for any reason.
Right.
World Championships? Nah, it's probably not the reason. He probably went there on vacation. But he still has his visa. His visa's probably still good, right? So that's probably it.
Yeah, no, I was trying to stroke up interest, trying to bait into a topic, but yeah, that sounds about right. And they will be starting on opposite sides, so both of them are heading up towards that top lane. When Malphite's going for that fast red and heading into the top lane, you kind of expect that he's planning on countering out some aggression from Maokai maybe, or maybe going for a gank of his own, and that is a high probability, I think. Aurelia, she has that early gank potential when you have a jungler, so they can maybe force that out.
So Ping's actually going down over on Maokai. They know he's going for his red. There is the ward coverage right there. They know he's grabbing it. So that's going to be a little bit of fair warning actually to Aurelia and to the Karthus. But meanwhile, bot lane very low. The Kog'Maw is ignited.
Oh, he missed.
The Mystic Shot. Not going to be enough, but you did burn the flash. You did burn the heal. So right now, Cog's not very happy at the moment.
He had it with the Mystic Shot, just barely not able to pick him up. But Maokai actually heads up in the top lane, is keeping an eye on his top lane, so they have the Nidalee traps already. They should be pretty safe. There's a ward as well, so that they're able to get that down there. And he's just kind of wandering around, making sure they have control. So both junglers just focusing on clearing right now. And I don't know, early on, without the jungler presence, it should be a pretty passive lane, or passive game. Orianna versus Karthus should be a farm lane. Orianna, she can put some pressure onto Karthus a little bit later, but not until 6. So, and then Nidalee versus Aurelia is just kind of a slow farm lane as well right now.
I do want to focus a little bit down on bot lane though, because Zyra support is something we've been seeing quite a bit of lately coming out of the Asian scene. And this is the lane where things kind of different because Nunu, he's really there for the blood boil, the occasional snowball. Yep. But Zyra though, I mean, this is full-on aggression, binds whenever you can, and Cog is somewhat fragile as is. How's Zyra going to be working against a passing laner like Nunu?
Well, Zyra is one of my most favorite supports right now. We've seen her a lot in the EU scene, and like you said, in that Korean scene. So she's a very popular support right now. Malphite coming in the mid lane, gets some nice damage on Orianna, but will back off. He should be able to get out of there pretty easily. The wall from Karthus does separate them nicely. So Zyra as a support, the base damage for Zyra is so high that if you catch someone with the snare, you can pick up a kill. You can also use the ranged seedlings, and it actually has really great targeting vision. So the AI for the seedlings for Zyra, like everyone always complained about the AI for Heimer, but the AI for hers are insanely strong. You can just throw down your ranged plants, and then if you target the enemy champion, they'll target him and they'll harass. So it can be pretty good for harass.
So you're saying Heimerdinger needs to take a botany?
Yeah, Heimerdinger needs to take a couple of classes, become an herbologist. He has the brains for it.
You got Maokai looking for a twisted advance onto Aurelia there into the top lane. A little bit of free damage from Nidalee too, but not going to result in a kill. It is kind of strange though, because usually Nidalee lanes is not something you see ganked, to try and snowball very often. Because while Nidalee's a great laner, the kill potential's not the greatest in the world.
Yeah, I mean, Nidalee, I mean, she's not going to get any kills against Aurelia, so you're right, you don't usually see those ganks, but at the same time, Aurelia needs to be aggressive in order to make anything happen in lane, so a lot of times you can kind of get her out of position. Catch Aurelia by surprise some. As the game progresses, it will be a pretty even lane matchup, but Nidalee should have a slight advantage early on, and she can try and take an early tower. She can split push constantly, and we'll kind of see how that progresses. Can you actually look at the stats of Nidalee real quick? It seems like 80 Nidalee based on how hard she's hitting. Yeah, it is 80. Okay, I just wanted to see real quick if it was just a quick check to see if it was maybe a hybrid or AP. But so it's going to be mostly for split push potential, and we'll see how that works. Malphite, he is only level 5, but he has come into the mid lane though. Karthus, there's the wall. They will be able to slow down Orianna. She's actually in a really dangerous spot. One lane waste, she does get the flash, but still kind of being forced out of lane.
Forced out of lane before you hit 6-2. Actually, Karthus does have the ultimate, but that's, unfortunately, it is only level 1 ult. It's not going to be enough to take her straight. Well, actually, maybe. It could have been. I wonder what
not quite enough. It's I mean, with the MR, it's about 200, so
yeah.
She was around 300.
One more lay waste probably.
Oh yeah, no, one more lay waste and she was a goner.
Oh, just one.
You also have to consider she has the shield as well, so she's going to shield last second.
That is also true. But now actually going back, getting the Chalice and a Doran's Ring, so a lot of mana regen actually now being built onto that Orianna. That's got Aurelia being forced to use the ult just to try and clear the wave, pick up on some of that experience, and then just go for the surge to pick up the remaining farm. Nice stun. Kind of unfortunate that actually wasn't under tower. Actually.
Yeah, I thought that Nidalee was under tower, but Nidalee, with really great control, knew exactly where to pounce. So that's actually really impressive to know exactly where to pounce like that and just be able to stay outside of turret, because that was actually a potential for, in those kind of situations, Aurelia just slowly wear down with the turret and come back. But we'll see. Nidalee already has a nice advantage over that top lane. Aurelia does go with the Ninja Tabby to try and shut down some of that pressure, and the Dorans as well.
Now let's see what Nidalee's actually going to gain for herself. Pretty much the exact same build. Actually, a little bit different though. Actually going for the Vamp Scepter
and 2 wards.
And 2 wards. So a little bit more.
She's planning on hanging out for a while.
She is. That she is. And we have Vamp Scepter's Wriggles build, more than likely.
Not usually on Nidalee. I mean, I think it's mostly just for sustain, and a lot of times you can go with the Vamp Scepter for some of that lifesteal, and then transition into a more aggressive like Phage into the Trinity Force. So that is something you see pretty commonly. The issue with Wriggles is it won't give her enough HP to be tanky enough in fights. It won't give her enough damage. It won't give her much of anything. All of the Wriggles is going to give her is a little bit more lifesteal, but she can have the Vamp Scepter for that, and also a little bit pushing potential. But when Nidalee's in Cougar form, she already has the pushing potential. So there's no real need.
Right, and also she is maxing out the heal first, and we've seen some of the builds coming from like Mac Noon.
Yep.
Mac Noon likes to go for the aggressive style, but you also seen Stanley. He went a little bit defensive there during the World Cup. Spirit Fist to try and beef up those heals, but there's exhaust going down onto Nunu. You caught Malphite with the ultimate, and Garthus was not enough to with the ultimate actually pick up the first blood, but Malphite was there, just a little bit more damage, one more punch. Gets the kill on the Nunu and first blood for CJ Entus.
Yeah, they have enough damage that they should be able to pick up kills fairly easily. With just the 2 of them, usually, you were kind of talking about it earlier, Nunu is a pretty defensive support. He's usually tanky enough where it's not that much of a concern, but when you consider Karthus' ult, that gives them enough damage to take it down. Then you consider Malphite, and so just a really aggressive gank. They're able to use that global presence to put some pressure on them, and CJ Entus taking an early lead over Azubu Blaze.
Which is, it's not usually a sentence you hear very much of, because Blaze, I mean, they're usually, they're considered one of the strongest teams in Korea. CJ Entus, the old school, the Brood War, the established esports organization. A lot of those have not really been making a big splash in the LoL scene, but it's good to see that they have the coordination, that they have the know-how, that they're doing well to make off those coordinated ganks.
Yeah, but if you look at the situation, even though there's a slight gold lead for CJ Entus, Azubu Blaze, they're playing a really passive game right now. They're not forcing anything. It's all on CJ Entus to force this Cog. He barely gets out of there. Right. So they're playing defensively right now, and CJ Entus is barely pulling ahead. So, I mean, imagine once they start to amp up that aggression, how they're going to be doing, because already Nidalee's in control of the top lane, Kog'Maw is farming pretty effectively in the bot lane, and Orianna's just happy farming in the mid. They're not really looking to make any plays right now, and so it's not that surprising to see them drop a little bit behind. So it'll be interesting to see how the game progresses once they start ramping up that aggression, particularly from the mid lane, because that's kind of where I would expect to maybe see something happen, is the mid lane, roaming with Maokai, particularly into the bottom lane to maybe pick up some kills.
And here's something interesting too from Maokai. Skipping the first GP10 and going straight for the Move 5 boots, which I find is actually quite interesting.
And that's a common build that we've seen with Maokai in a number of situations, which it was originally something that was like, oh wow, you know, this is kind of counterintuitive. You need that gold and whatnot, but really when Maokai succeeds, it's when you're just ganking constantly. The slow, the Nunu ultimate, not quite able to get them. They could have the flash to advance though. He's actually just going to walk right up to him. So they do get Zyra underneath the turret. The Ezreal ult, Maokai has to back out of there, just barely surviving. Wow. So they pick up the kill. The Q or the passing from Zyra not going to be enough to take down Maokai there, so nice play. Oh, the Karthus ult's going to have him, though.
Oh, Karthus ult does pick up the kill onto the Maokai. Very well done. Good incentive, but there's the Maokai ult off top lane. They want to get a kill on Italy, but she's the rough one to gank. I tell you, Ignite going down, drinking that potion. Shard, something,
he's getting out.
Anything, and that is Italy for you. Just always gets away.
Always so just annoying. Too fast.
She's the one that got away, man. The one that got away.
There's plenty more, AJ. Don't worry about it.
There's only one. There's only one.
But already, you can see, they're starting to counter out some of that pressure from CJ. And just the Orion ultimate, maybe pick up the kill on Karthus. One more QW should be enough to do it, but at the very least, force Karthus out of lane. And they're not really getting a lot of kills here, but they're just slowly wearing their opponents down in lanes and starting to outfarm them a little bit. And at the very least, get themselves into that mid game where they will be very strong. Yep,
they're down one kill, but gold is pretty much even, despite CJ also getting that first blood gold.
Ooh, and there you saw one of the weaknesses of Zyra is when your snare is down, then she's a pretty weak support. So Kog really took advantage of the fact that he was able to dodge the snare to just completely wear it down. They go for the dragon. There's the Ezreal ultimate. You actually see Maokai is very low, just barely able to back out of there. And so no engage. Malphite, his ultimate was down. It looked like Maokai was going to die for a second, but they're able to back off.
His ultimate was down, but his smite was up, and he did actually sneak on it. He did grab it.
Oh, man.
Good steal from CJ Entus right there, and it was a really hairy situation too for Maokai. He almost went down in that game, but good to see that he got out there himself. Still exchanges going up here in top lane, but Nidalee getting a little bit low on mana, not going to have as many heals for a while, but you recognize that he still has not gone back, which is quite a bit of gold on Nidalee, so he needs to spend some of that money.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she's comfortable with the lane as is. I'm curious to see what she's holding off for. Maybe just to force Aurelia out of lane. She doesn't want to allow Aurelia to come back and farm when she leaves. Maokai coming up isn't caught with any, or is caught with the ward there. So Aurelia is able to back off safely. His ult's up in 5 seconds.
Just waiting for his moment. Bruno's caught behind. It may not even be used. The Zyra binds are more than enough to help still for Ezreal. Very well down there. And now Nidalee is forced to back. Too low on mana, but you got quite a bit of gold on the scene once you build there. Nunu in death, buying quite a bit of ward if you need them. And he actually still does not have boots yet. He's got the GP10, he's got one GP10, he's working for a second. More damage though, front loading more damage, and that is going to get the kill down onto Kog. Very well done. Every time Malphite uses that ult, he's really getting something huge. Every time.
Yeah, no, they're definitely, I mean, it's the Karthus pressure along with the Malphite. They're able to pick up those kills pretty easily. This is the 1-1, correct? This is for deciding who moves on from the group stage?
This is the one who decides who's out of the group stage.
Oh, okay, wow.
Winner of this goes to play Xenic Storm to get the second spot.
Oh, I see. So there's still two games left. So yeah, it's definitely a huge match for both of these teams. And
this is a do or die match.
Yeah, already you're seeing a 2K gold lead for CJ Entus, and they've just been a lot more aggressive than Xenic Storm right now. Xenic Storm's been very comfortable with just sitting back and farming, which has worked out for the most part for them. You know, it's working in the top lane in particular, and a little bit in the bot lane. Kog'Maw's slightly behind, but not significantly. The concern is that Karthus is getting, you know, a couple of kills, so they have to kind of watch out for him.
Yeah, it's about 700 gold deficit for the Kog'Maw in the face of the Ezreal. And Ezreal is doing okay for himself. He's got his stage. For this required, he's actually looking to finish off the Trinity first before building into a whole lot else. A lot of these days, you're actually seeing Ezreal go Rage first, then something like Bloodthirster, then go back and finish the rest of the game. He wants that burst, he wants that mobility, he wants that extra damage just to get some kills onto that Kog.
The difference in the gold is basically if they had been able to secure that dragon. So Malphite being able to steal that dragon, it's a 2K swing, and that's basically what their gold lead is right now.
I don't with Maokai in the brush, but you do have some vines coming from Zyra, trying to get something, anything, but it looks like Blaze is actually trying to bait something out here and not. But Malphite, he's going to have his awareness up, he's going to come on down, he's just going to be on the sidelines, waiting to see if their punches are true, because this is a little bit for them.
Well, and he sees him with the ward, so yeah, they should recognize what's going on here. There it is, they both see each other.
There's a stat, very wonderful tool from them. Hey, I think just getting that rush, buddy, rush goes there, check for me, then explode, cool, see you later.
Yeah, and both junglers with the map control that they have with the oracles, you know, they should be able to shut down some of the aggression that we've seen. They'll be able to both get some map control back. Maokai, he does spot Malphite, so they can keep an eye on each other for a little bit, and we'll kind of see, you know, how this is going to affect the pace of the game. I would think it would slow it down a little bit. You know, both teams will want to play a little bit more conservatively without having that vision, but Maokai kind of getting caught off. He should be okay though.
Yeah, that was a little risky for him. And whichever jungler does go down first, it seems like just one kill. But actually a very significant lead, because at this early on in the game, you're not going to be seeing a jungler rebuy oracles. You know, so with such a hasty effort,
right,
that they managed to lose it. Whereas, okay, I just bought oracles, already died. Odds are, if I buy another, I'm not going to kill it. So whichever jungler dies first, that's going to be huge.
Yeah, and already you're seeing in the top lane, Aurelia is able to put some pressure onto Nidalee. But yeah, it is going to be key to see which jungler loses that oracles first. That's going to be a major swing in this game. But we'll kind of see. Aurelia, you know, does have the regen and is plenty tanky to deal with some of the harass from Nidalee, and so she's actually winning the mana battle a little bit.
Going for those surges just to farm up, just to make sure that when she is inevitably pushed to lane, pushed to tower, he's going to be able to capitalize on all that farm. But you also got Blaze. They're operating a little bit here in the dark in the bot lane, and Malphite's been down here so often. They have to expect it. They have to expect he's got to be near top lane.
Oh, bot lane.
Front-loading damage, and I'm not quite sure why, actually.
Yeah, they were trying to get the gank on the bottom lane. They thought that Maokai would get in time, and because they knew that it was going to be a really quick fight underneath the turret, they wanted to make sure that they front-loaded the damage so that Malphite would be able to pick up the kills before any of them went down to the turret. It was just a little bit too early, and you know, they weren't quite able to get in. They thought it was just going to be a real quick coordination thing, so it was a nice timing effort. Just couldn't quite get Malphite into range.
A little awkward, but that's the thing too. It did have the cooldowns increased. While you got the flash going, and now you go down on into Nidalee. Can you heal something? Hey, there's
oh!
Not the heal was up, just could not get it.
Yeah, I don't think she thought the heal was up. She went up for the attack. So she hit the attack on the minions, and you know, mid-animation couldn't, you know, really get enough of a regen there. So they do back off. Orianna trying to pick up Karthus. Aurelia pushing down the top lane, and top lane's kind of swinging against them a little bit. Aurelia in a really great situation where she's a little bit too tanky for Nidalee to take her down, but we'll see how that kind of changes. They are going to be able to go for this dragon, so that's going to be a nice boost for them. That'll bring them to within, I guess, 3K of their opponents.
Yep, and you know, not going to be stolen this time, because they see Malphite, they see him mid. He's not going to be there with his might, being a jerk and taking stuff away from him. So far, Dragons just on their own are 1-1. I'll take a look at the builds. Get a quick update here. You got Karthus. He finishes Rod of Ages. He's going to be going for that Death Cat next. He's got that Nidalee large rod. Orianna, on the other hand, though, has finished the Athenes. Looks like to be going for an Abyssal next. Actually, wants to pile on that damage. Malphite getting tanky. Giant's Belt. Maokai still only operating on 1 GP10. There you go. Actually, you got the Chain Vest for Malphite. He might be going for a quick Sunfire cape even.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a nice, you know, tanky build. Gives them a lot of options. I think one of the interesting things that's going to happen as this game progresses is to see how the fights are going to progress. Because if Malphite and Karthus can engage on the Kog'Maw, then they're going to easily be able to deal a lot of damage and take him down pretty quickly. But the Nunu is going to be able to isolate the lane, and actually Orianna is also one of the best champions in the game against Karthus, because you can actually just single out Karthus every single team fight. So that's going to be kind of cool to watch as they start grouping as a team. Orianna's just going to ult Karthus, never allow Karthus to dive onto Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
And that kind of protection, it could be dangerous because Kog'Maw is farming pretty freely right now. He has the Phantom Dancer. You know, he's definitely in a great situation. He's going to just be able to continue farming and be a real menace as the game progresses.
There is sufficient protection there. But I would imagine though with all the, but no, not ooh, very nice, very well done. But I imagine though that Nunu offers great protection to Orianna and Maokai, but I imagine that Nidalee is going to be spending quite a bit of time, if given the opportunity, for a split push, because she is one of the best at doing it.
Yeah, and it's going to turn the game into 4v4 fights with the split push. It's going to be Aurelia versus Nidalee, which it has seemed pretty even. Zyra tries going for the kill, but there's actually the flash from Kog. The Karthus ultimate actually is almost going to turn it around for them, but they have the heal. It's not quite enough, and they are going to be able to pressure in on them. The cancel on the Karthus ult from Orianna. That's a great opportunity from them. The flash from Maokai to avoid that Malphite, and they're going to be able to back off. But Kog and Nunu able to turn around the bottom lane with their team's help.
Nice cancel. Wonderful cancel. You also got the heal coming from Kog'Maw too, just to keep him topped off. It's like, hey, I don't think you guys want to be fighting with us anymore. I'm not sure if you've checked the gold. They were pretty even. I think I can still kick your ass. And that is indeed what inspired Ezreal to back off for a second, and the damage, the range on Kog is now getting dangerous. He's able to plug away the tower. They should be able to take down the tier 1 bot here.
Yeah, they're going to drop it pretty quickly. The pressure on mid as well, it alleviates that pressure on the bottom lane, so they know they can take it pretty easily. Orianna's really close to taking it as well. Karthus is trying to stop it, but they're going to be able to get that mid turret. Yeah. So 2 turrets down, actually 3 turrets down because the top was down as well. So it's 3-1 right now, and all of a sudden, that 5K even gold lead from CJ Entus, it's gone. Yeah. There's a 200 gold lead now.
Three towers and a dragon, and that's it. That's all you needed.
And so it's just that constant pushing pressure. They fell behind a little bit, but they were farming evenly or ahead of their opponents, and then they're able to just pressure in. And you see both Karthus and Orianna uber farming. Wow. 279 CS now for Orianna, so both of them are definitely in a great situation.
Well, yeah, usually the goal for some farming AP minutes is 200 by 20 minutes. We're bringing it to a completely different level. Yeah. It's like these guys are going to be hitting 300 far before 30 minutes. This is actually getting quite ridiculous.
We can keep an eye on Orianna because Froggen has the record as far as anyone knows at 398 in 30 minutes. So 398 in 30 minutes. We'll see if any of them can beat him.
He might be able to do it. So we'll see where he goes from there.
Well, particularly if they're going to continue with this kind of passive lane split play. But I think that they're probably going to start grouping shortly. Nidalee's still going to sit in the top lane, but I think that Orianna is strong enough where she's like, okay, guys, I just bought an Abyssal Scepter. Let's make some things happen.
Might as well. I mean, she's going to have the close range, and the rest of the team's actually going to be getting up close and personal too when you have Maokai going in for those Swiss advances. And that damage is actually going to pile on for Kog'Maw, because remember, he does do mixed damage. When he does get that extra range, that's going to help him hurt immensely more too in his future fights. But you do have Malphite. He still's got that Oracles. He needs to clear out that coverage. And you also got Aurelia actually roaming on down to the bot lane. Nidalee roaming on into the mid. They want to get some lane push on.
Yeah, Nidalee's happy with splitting both top and mid, but Aurelia, she knows that she's pretty farmed right now. She just finished her Triforce not that long ago. She's working on the GA, and she wants to force fights right now. So they know they can't just allow Nidalee to split push the entire game, even though it is a pretty even matchup between the two of them right now. You know, Nidalee's a little antsy. He wants to, she wants to run around and pick up some kills.
She's on the hunt.
She's on the hunt.
She is on the hunt. She's looking for some excitement around the map somewhere elsewhere, but actually going to be finding herself just on her own for the time being in top lane, getting some scout on, because actually top lane's actually pretty decently pushed at this point. She can actually grab all that up and get some pressure, get some damage onto the tier 2 and top.
Yeah, and she doesn't have any wards right now, so she's going to play a little bit more passively than you would normally expect. But if she catches wind of where Aurelia is right now, you'll see her be a little more aggressive. And you see right now, Nidalee, she's kind of concerned. She doesn't know that no one on the enemy team is near her right now because they haven't shown themselves yet. So she's kind of pushing up, but you saw she was kind of sitting in the bush for a second, starting to recall. But now they do spot them. They see Aurelia, they see Malphite, they see Zyra, and now she goes in. So now she's like, oh, this tower is mine. Karthus, he's going to come up and try and stop this, but Nidalee's still going to get some nice damage.
can't catch her at this point. It's like, oh, you just wall pin. Oh, that's cute. I'm just going to jump.
And I'd much rather have Karthus with my team than Nidalee. So
yeah.
For Nidalee to split off that Karthus is massive. Yes, he's still going to have his ultimate, but they're missing out a lot of damage. That's one of the benefits of the Zyra support, is that you get some damage from Zyra, but not this early in the game. The base is okay, but it's not really enough.
And in this split push situation, you're somehow diverting a very vital piece of a CJ Entus' team. If you're distracting Karthus, that's a lot of damage that you're missing out on. If you take out Aurelia, you're missing your frontline tank. If you take out Malphite, you have no huge initiation, which has been working so well for you this entire game so far. But they're now all 5 here. Nidalee's actually with the team. So we'll see how this goes. Looking to take out the Dragon, looking to split. There's the Azubu Blaze. It is down to half. CJ Entus waiting for their moment. Where is the Malphite ult? Are we going to see the Malphite ult? Dragon goes down. Karthus with the steal. Very well done. Maokai going to pretty engaged. Orianna ult right there on the front. And Maokai goes down very quick. Karthus going straight in with the AoE. Nunu ult going down too. And Aurelia going to be next to fall. We got Kog'Maw with quite a bit of damage. Not only Karthus ult. Karthus nothing.
Wow.
Karthus, nothing.
Very close to picking up a couple of kills there, and Kog'Maw almost was able to turn that around. They were all very low, and there wasn't the pressure on Kog. Kog was able to flash over the wall, but really nice play from Azubu Blaze to try and counter out some of that stuff from his CJ Entus. But really close fight.
It was still a net gain for CJ.
Yes.
Though. Very slim net gain. The Dragon's worth about 2 kills, so that essentially makes it a 2-for-3. It was a slim gain, but it's still a gain nonetheless. But still, it's only 500 gold that separates these 2 teams at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's really close right now. Aurelia is a little bit more effective than Nidalee is in team fights, but for Nidalee to be this deep into her build, it doesn't matter. Nidalee's going to be very strong. She can dive onto Karthus easily. She can split push. She's going to be strong regardless. So everyone just, because they're getting so deep in their builds, it's going to be kind of intense to see these upcoming fights. Space grabbing the red buffs, that's going to be great for him. Kog'Maw's close to being done with that Infinity Edge though, and that's really going to be devastating when he does finish that. The damage output from Kog'Maw is just absolutely insane, and should be able to win those late game fights if CJ Entus, if they can't force a, if CJ Entus can't force a fight and can't take down Kog'Maw.
Yep. And speaking of damage, speaking of later on into the builds, Holy Trinity forces Batman. We got 3 of them in the game so far. Looking for the Guardian Angels soon. Aurelia's gonna have her soon. You got Nidalee actually building for hers. Also, Aegisson works for Maokai. He's also got an extra null magic just because he had the money. Infinity Edge in the works for Kog'Maw. He'll be having that soon. You also got Karthus. He's looking for the. Looks like he's gonna be going for the Void Staff next. Actually, he wants to get some of that magic pen in.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common. He knows he has the Rabadons.
Yeah.
Go for the Void Staff. He's going to have plenty of damage, right? So, he can front load a lot of that damage onto Kog'Maw. That'll make Kog'Maw a little bit more passive in those team fights. If he can get that backline pressure, that's going to be huge. And exhaust onto Kog'Maw will basically be GG in a team fight. It wasn't quite the last fight. He was able to flash over the wall, but if the wall wasn't there for that separation, that would have been pretty difficult for Kog'Maw to get out of there. So, Nidalee coming down from the top lane, just kind of moving back and forth through top, using that mobility advantage. Definitely a big gain over Aurelia, so she can constantly keep that top lane push and try and see if she can get Aurelia out of position.
Also, one of the big things for Kog'Maw that last fight too was that he has a second heal, and he should blew that. If he didn't, he would not be here, right?
Yep.
That would have been actually a 1-5 for Entus, but that second heal just saved pretty much everybody's butts. There's the orb going to be spotting out that Malphite. So Maokai went straight out in front, and there was the flash on in right into the center, but there's Malphite with the ult, with the Orianna ult back here. With the ult, Zyra with the ult, they want something, they're trying to get something, but Kog'Maw didn't get the kill down to Zyra, could not get the kill on the dude with the passive. Orianna still fighting back and forth, or wants to do it for Karthus, but he's not quite dead yet. But look at Nidalee with the split push, this is what we're talking about.
Yeah, great fight for Azubu Blaze. CJ Entus, they tried to force the fight. Malphite flashed in and then realized, oh, wait a second, they're all spread out. I have no one to target. So he just decided to tank the turret. And, he was able to, part of having the flash in, it did help him tank for his team a little bit. But because they were all grouped and Malphite wasn't able to ult anyone of significance, he ulted Maokai. Does Maokai care if Malphite's going to ult him? No. So Orianna with the great counter with the ultimate. Nidalee's very close to going down, but the team does support him. Kog'Maw, Maokai coming in, they're able to back them off. and Italy was able to get the turret as the result of that one fight. So they're in a great situation here. You know, they're constantly pressuring them. Orianna goes down at the bot lane, just keeps up the push, so keeps all the lanes pressured so that they can just slowly wear them down, keep up their farm.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing that front line action coming from Maokai and from Malphite quite a bit. And they're made of wood and rocks. Do they give a crap? No, not really. Do they care if they get ulted? No, as long as they do what they're there to do. Malphite and Malphite with twisting dance. As long as they get that where the mark needs to be, they've done their job. And from that point on, yeah, like they're made of grass and wood and dirt. They don't care.
Yeah, so they will back off. The turret does go down for CJ Entus. Really quick pickup for them, but it's a 1.4k gold advantage for Azubu Blaze. They're in a great situation here.
Yes.
They have the late game advantage with the Kog'Maw if they can keep Karthus out of their team. So that's the #1 goal. The Zeke's Herald as well from Nunu. That's really going to help. So Zeke's Herald and also Nunu buff. So Kog'Maw is actually, in fact, going to have max attack speed in those team fights.
He's at 2.2 now. So he's very
Even
close.
When he's standing next to Nunu, he's only at 2.2.
When he's standing next to Nunu, he's 2.2.
Oh, I thought he'd be at 2.5.
Well, here's the thing, though. He can just buy like another, I'd like to take another Zeal or something, and that would
No, God, no, not at this point.
well,
He's already basically at max attack speed.
Green Elixir.
Green Elixir, yeah. Well,
max.
but then you're getting it for the crit, and yeah, that would be possibly coming up.
What is this crit chance right now? Actually, 55%, which is good. It's good. If you're over 50, that's great.
Yep. That's actually kind of a lot of times the mark is once you're over 50, you don't need to get any more crit because you're hitting significantly enough that itemizing more into crit isn't worth it.
Yeah.
But
because basically the way crit chance is calculated, like if you don't get it the first time around, there's a little bit expensive. Right in the second, we got Malphite with the pull straight out into the mid, and he's taking a lot of damage just from Cog. Ezreal was not in this fight. He was not there to pile on the damage. Zyra going to be going down next. Ignite double kill for Kog'Maw. Aurelia in a struggle. Does have the Guardian Angel. May not do it very well, but there's a flash. Ezreal getting the kill on to the Maokai. You got the revive coming from Italy, but it's going to leap away. Will the Karthus get anyone? No. Getting away, Azubu Blaze.
Yeah, a little bit out of position. They, saw they were thirsty for blood. They saw their opponents, crying for help, and they weren't able to quite finish them off. So, Kog'Maw looking like he might be able to pick up a couple of kills there, but he was running in, trying to see what he could do, and he got himself kind of out of position.
Yeah.
Got a little bit greedy and was pulled out of position. So Ezreal and Aurelia were able to take him down. They will be able to get the dragon off of that, so that's going to bring them back up to an even gold situation. They need to be all together as a team, but it was a really nice job from Azubu Blaze to force that fight. They have the mobility where they're able to chase them down, and they were able to pick up a couple of kills.
They did, however, lose the Guardian Angel proc on Nunu.
Yes.
Which is not the greatest situation in the world. That thing's going to be down for 4 more minutes until the revive comes on back. But Aurelia still has hers up, which can be problematic later on.
Yeah, I mean, Aurelia is going to be very aggressive, particularly against Kog'Maw, and try and burst down Kog'Maw. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to deal with that. Aurelia trying to be aggressive here against Nidalee. Aurelia actually might be able to pick up a kill here. Nidalee has enough mobility. I think she'll be okay, though.
You got the training force.
Maybe
you got
not.
The stage part. Rocking. Nidalee, can you actually get away from this? Wait for heal
No
something
ignite.
in, but here comes Kog'Maw. No, do not cross this line. That is acidic. Here comes Ezreal. Oh, though, could this be enough? No, not going to be smart.
Pretty close, though.
Pretty
Looking
close.
for the kill.
You get A for effort. A for effort.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot.
Well, I mean, we'll mark it down on the report card.
You get a gold star. You get a gold star for participation.
We'll give out IPL gold stars, but
can we?
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea.
We should get those stickers. We should make those IPL gold stars. Just thank you for showing up.
Participation stars, smiley faces. But in the meantime, CJ Entus, they're pushing down the bottom lane. They're going to be able to take down the turret pretty easily. So they're, kind of pushing back against them a little bit. So it's still an even game. They have to be concerned with the fact that Kog'Maw, once he's unleashed, if they allow him to unleash the Kog'Maw, then he's going to be just uber powerful. Chasing down Karthus a little bit, gets a little bit of regen there, so he's going to be safe.
That was 2 shots. That was 2 shots that actually hit Karthus for 800 damage total.
Yeah, I don't think either of them critted either.
That's dangerous. That's really dangerous. Yeah, if those were crits, I mean, he would have been two have been like below half.
Yeah, no, it's the damage from Kog'Maw is insane right now, so it's pretty scary. And then there's also Nidalee to consider because she's so farmed, because she has just so much gold. She, I don't know, can just chase people down, and they're mostly going to be ignoring Nidalee, but she's just going to be able to dive in the back line, pick up the kill onto Karthus, and then dive out of there and just constantly run around. No one's going to really bother with her.
There is still 2 minutes on Nidalee's Guardian Angel until the clock comes back up. Those executives are trying to force something out here. They could have been bottlenecked actually in the river, but Blaze is just not quite in position.
Karthus is pretty low.
Karthus is very low. He's below half actually. And he also got Maokai. He was looking for his mark. He was looking for a twisted advance onto that back line, but just could not find it, could not get it. But this is all killing more time. This is all killing more time for that GA clock to come back up. And CJ, if they want to start swinging these teams, if they want to swing the team fight, it's got to happen soon.
Well, you see right now, both teams are kind of hesitant to engage.
Yeah.
CJ Entus, they recognize, all right, Karthus is getting kind of low. They have to constantly position themselves and try and get Karthus into the back line. But whenever Karthus comes close enough where he might be able to engage in the back line, he has to deal with the fact that Kog'Maw, Nidalee, and Orianna are all going to be poking him down. So he doesn't have a great initiation opportunity, and Malphite doesn't either. Because Karthus leaves, they go for it straight away. There's no vision. CJ Entus, they use the Ezreal ultimate, so they're going to see this. Malphite, he needs to get in there quickly. He's going to flash. He's going to go for it. He doesn't get there in time, and it's a 4v5. Karthus is not there yet.
You got the Orianna ult trying to keep everyone still down. Here comes Karthus, but I fear he may be late to the party. Zyra already gone down, and Karthus, hey, how you doing? Have an exhaust, get the hell out. He's going to be using the ult though. Will he be getting anything off of this? No, he will not. A lot of red though. You got Ezreal actually picking up the kill onto Nunu, but that is still a huge gain.
Ezreal can still kind of poke in. They're all really low, but he does back off. So it's a 4 versus 2 now. They're able to push in. They're actually going straight for the top, and the top, it's right up against the turrets. And Ezreal and Malphite, they went for the base. They thought, okay, we can trade a little bit here. We can get a turret. They're going to maybe be able to get a brace turret as well, but they're going to lose an inhibitor as a result of it. The Baron is onto Azubu Blaze as well, and Azubu Blaze is in a great situation to take this space. He's still pushing, but we'll see how much damage they can do. They actually, I think there might be able to get it. Insect, he's trying to come in. Insect, he's trying to get and stop them. He can't get it slow. The twisted advance, they're going to be able to pick up that kill. The Nexus is so exposed right now. They can take this turret.
You got Zyra here trying to defend Aurelia, and Karthus will be back up in 5 seconds. They know they got to get out of here. Ezreal with the ult back up for a little bit of vision, knowing, okay, get the hell out. You've done your damage. Mid-tier 2 in exchange for a tier 3 in inhib and a Nexus turret. Well, you're making the best of a bad situation, really.
Yeah, and really great job by Azubu Blaze to push aggressively, but I think CJ Entus, they thought that they were all going to heal, and so a lot of times in that situation, we were like, okay, they were all kind of low, they're just going to back off. It's not going to be a concern. The snare, though, Aurelia comes in. Kog'Maw gets some quick damage. There's the Zyra ultimate. She's able to pick up the Kog, and that's actually a huge one fight for them if they can continue to pressure them.
But your Karthus is very low, but you still have plenty of poke. You got Guardian Angels too. 2 of them. Orianna's got one now, and she will be coming back for the revive. But there is Swiss advance. Even Aurelia still. Will the damage be there? Just enough. No. Nunu with the ult right on.
How much can Ezreal do though?
Ezreal, can you follow up? There's Nidalee going back in. It's do or die. You still have your Guardian Angel proc too as well. But here comes Malphite. Getting the ultimate in, forcing the extra life.
Right before that though, Nidalee switching to ranged form to pick up the kill onto Ezreal.
Very well done.
That was absolutely huge. Malphite, he tried getting in there as fast as possible and couldn't quite get it fast enough, so they're able to pick up that kill. They can go down and get the red here. There's a massive minion wave pushing down. They should have enough time. They could actually consider going for that second turret as well. In second, he might be able to get this. Yes, he's going to smite seal it. So he's able to back up and smite it. Now he can actually AoE clear this. So their bot turret is a little bit safer now, but Azubu Blaze, they're in a great situation to just continue pressuring them in a second.
I want to give Insect the MVP award though, because he's been on point with all the steals, dragon steals, buff steals. He's been doing pretty well for himself, but unfortunately though, they're still not in the best of situations. You got a minute left on the Baron buff, and look how much they've already done. They still got time for one last push. But look at Kog'Maw now. Now he's got a Guardian Angel, the 3rd one for the team, which is
In the last fight, they were able to take down Kog'Maw. Zyra was able to get in the backline and take him down. But even with that, it wasn't enough because Aurelia, it's the ranged AD, the double ranged AD for Azubu Blaze versus the Ezreal and Aurelia. And Aurelia isn't quite tanky enough. So Aurelia is very farmed right now. I mean, Trinity Force, Guardian Angel, almost done with the Randuins as well. But even so, you saw Aurelia going down pretty quickly to the Orianna pressure. Didn't quite have enough damage to deal with it, or health to deal with it, going down to Nidalee and Kog'Maw as well. So even though they picked up the Kog'Maw kill fairly early, it was still kind of against them.
I also want to take a note here. We have to go back as soon as all this is done. I want to go back to that 30-minute mark because Orianna is at 468 farm right now. We need to go back and check to see where that mark was when that time hit.
That's pretty close, but I think Froggen won.
I think he did. I think you're right.
You're right. We did forget to check that.
You got to go back and check though. You always got to check your sources.
Make it official.
Well, we have to make it official. We have to give it official. Maybe we'll give him the silver. I don't know. We'll go back and check that in a second. But Kog'Maw is doing pretty well for himself too. 315 farm. That is absolutely huge. And Nidalee is doing amazing too. Actually, nearly hitting 400 farm also. But the thing is though, this poke coming in from Kog and Nidalee and Orianna.
Nidalee's splitting for the mid too.
Oh, she is.
So they're wearing them down. They're able to play very passively. They can't engage into Orianna because she can just kite very effectively. And now Nidalee's splitting. They have the top split as well. So someone has to back off to deal with that because they only have one Nexus turret. That massive minion wave is going to take their second Nexus turret if someone doesn't get it. And Karthus, he does back off, but this is the perfect time for Azubu Blaze to strike.
I don't think he's actually going to have enough clear to actually get rid of that. They must be losing there, but there's Malphite. He's dedicated to this. He wants that ultimate. Does get Orianna, but they're not going to be able to finish the job. It's so ignited. You got Kog'Maw going to be going down. He does have the extra life. We'll be back in just a second. Nunu will run into interference. There's the bind, and still able to kill Kog. You got Nidalee though with the push. Needs to back out of there. Double kill for the Karthus in Cougar form, looking to pounce away, but look at all the they brought down the Superman's able to bring down that one Nexus turret down to about half. Mid inhib is hurting huge. Bot tower is really hurting huge.
And you saw it was a win-win situation for Azubu Blaze. They lost the fight, but they were still able to take down mid turret. They were able to put some pressure on the bot turret. So they're in a great situation to next time just come straight. Do it once again. After they pressure the Baron, come right back, force it again, get a couple of turrets, get an inhibitor or two. But if they were able to win that fight, that would be GG. So there was no losing potential for them. CJ Entus, they had a really great fight there. It was a 4v5. They were able to get into the back line, pick up a couple of kills, but it wasn't decisive enough. And it did allow them to hold off for that inhibitor. So that's a nice little gain for them. But even so, even with that huge one fight, Azubu Blaze was still pulling ahead.
CJ Entus still there on the defensive end. Kills are very near even, but the towers do tell a different story. You also got the Baron going to be coming up in just about another minute or so. Everyone's getting prepped. You got GAs popping back up for Nidalee and Orianna in about a minute. Kog has to wait a little longer. He's got about 3, but Aurelia's is still up, but there are no other GAs here for CJ Entus. I think I would imagine they would actually want at least one more by now just to counteract, because that's what it is you can do. You got Malphite with the ult straight on in. He wants to damage onto the Kog'Maw, but he will be forced away. Nunu ult trying for the split. Zyra ult getting 3 members of Blaze. Got
Kog is safe.
Kog'Maw, he is great. He's fine and dandy here on the back line. CJ Entus are being zoned out immensely. You got the wall paint trying to make the best of the situation. Zyra, passive. Not going to be gained up, but here comes Karthus.
Oh, he's going to get a triple.
Oh, double. He gets the double off that one, and Kog'Maw going to be going down, but he does have his passive up still himself. The Twisted Advance though going to be more than enough to take down the Malphite. Wall of Pain keeping the tree behind.
Nidalee gets the kills here. Nidalee could push.
Nidalee could clean up. She's got her Guardian Angel right back. Orianna's got hers too. And that's going to be enough to withstand all the pressure from Karthus.
Nidalee can turn in and get this kill.
You got Ezreal. Can he get away? He's very low on mana though. He doesn't have enough for a shift away, and that is the ace.
Oh, this is very close to being a GG. It's a very close fight. It was all, CJ Entus was barely not able to finish it off. The GAs were just too much for him. The GAs are down coming in the next fight, but it was a great fight for CJ Entus. But I think this might be it, because they're going to get 2 inhibitors here. They might be able to take this Nexus with the Orianna shield. I'm kind of questioning. Actually, I think they should. Nidalee has so much armor right now. I didn't realize that Nidalee had gone so deep into armor, so they might be able to get that. But actually, it seems they might have backed off. So they're
Baron is
They're
up.
just getting the inhibitor, and then they're going to back. They want to make sure that they're able to heal in time for that Baron.
Yep, Baron is up, so that's the next logical objective. At the very least, yeah, you take down at least one inhib, you get the minions pushing, so even if it is contested, CG Entus will still have no choice but to defend, even if they were to be victorious in this next battle. You got Ori with the orb in the river just to get vision, but she is pinged out. They did have the ward right in front of Baron Pit, but Nuna's here to put down a little bit more coverage. Zyra sneaking on out, support fight, straight out in front of the Baron. Are really going to be joining soon, but in retreat, has to put down that ward just so they have vision for later. Orianna is back. She is healed, elixired up. She's been drinking, and she's ready to run rad.
She's
here.
been hitting the bottle pretty hard, and she's
hitting
looking to rage, the drunken master.
She's been hitting the bottles. She needs to do some damage. She wants to fight. She wants to do something crazy. But there's
they're going for it.
They're going for it. It was a little bit of a risky move. They didn't have
Karthus
all
and
the
Ezreal
vision.
were mid. They know they're out of position.
Oh, this is huge. This is huge for Blaze. They get this very easy. They have plenty of damage. Here comes Karthus. Can he make a difference? He's got the area up. You got Nunu with a great placement. Orianna with the ult, keeping everyone in. Karthus is going to be the first one to go down. He's going to be front loading that ult, trying to get a kill, something, anything. Kog'Maw going to be the next one to go down. But all of CG Entus is just melting in the face of Blaze. And that is going to be it. That is the ace. Now, healthier end for Blaze at the end of that fight. And they should be able to push in here for the win.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick this up pretty easily now, and you saw how strong they are at that point to 10k gold lead to be able to win with the Baron pressure. Kog'Maw actually went down mostly because of the Baron. He took a lot of damage from that Baron, and then when Aurelia actually came in, Kog flashed over Aurelia so that the Baron would switch tanking, and so the Baron was actually the one that killed Aurelia.
Nice.
But they're able to pressure, they're able to win that fight, come in for the Nexus, so quick win. Can we go back, take a look at the 30-minute at least?
Right.
A couple of cool fights there, but we'll see what the official stat was. I think it was like 350 is my guess.
Oh, they
no.
bugged out.
I think it was 350. Well, we have it on the VOD.
I'm very yeah, we have it on the VOD. We'll check that later. So
Congratulations, Azubu Blaze. They do move on. It is actually no. It's there's one game left, so it's Azubu Blaze versus who is it?
Azubu Blaze versus Zenix Storm.
Okay.
However, I do have a little bit of bad news.